Take it away, Chef Suzi with vegan cookies.
Hey everybody, I'm excited to make cookies with you today. As you can see, I have a lot of cookies already made, and that's not even the half of them. I look forward to showing you how to make them. Let's get started. First things first, to make a good shortbread, it's all about that vegan butter. And good news, there's a lot of really great vegan butter out there. I'm going to be using Earth Balance today because it's already pre-portioned to the size we need. First step, I'm going to show you everything I've got laid out here for you because I absolutely love making cookies, and you'll see why. Over here is my collection of vintage cookie cutters. I absolutely love them. I don't just have Christmas ones. I also have Halloween, Valentine's Day, dinosaurs, and other things. You can usually find them out and about in the world. It's really a lot of fun, and you can see why making cookies is extra fun for everybody. So out here on the table, I've got all the ingredients that you need in order to make amazing vegan shortbread cookies. Just going to adjust so you can see a little better. Right here, I've got whole wheat flour. You can use regular all-purpose flour if you have it. You can even use whole wheat pastry flour if you have it. I just like to add in a little extra fiber, so whole wheat flour is perfect for me. A little cornstarch, vegan butter, organic granular sugar, and then you can add things like vanilla extract or almond extract. I'm going to be using regular old vanilla extract today, but almond and hazelnut are also really great additions. So step one, I'm going to be using my mixer right here. If you don't have a mixer, you can definitely mix by hand, but it's going to go a lot faster with a mixer, especially for the first step, which is creaming your sugar. Creaming your sugar is basically code for whipping butter and sugar together. So right into here, that's a half a cup of sugar. Oh, sorry, half a cup of butter and a third of a cup of sugar. I'm going to dump right on top here. And it's going to whip it up. And this is honestly the most complicated part of the whole thing. I got my nice little spatula. You can see a color theme developing here between my cookie cutter, my spatula, my red cookies, my red mixer. The idea with creaming the sugar is that you want to get all of that sugar and butter melded perfectly so that it perfectly integrates into anything and you don't end up with gritty cookies. If you ever skip this step, you'll find that every single bite of your cookies is crunch, 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 crunch. And, you know, not only will it not bake as evenly, it won't be as fun to eat. So this is a really important step, especially when making cookies. So you want to make sure that it is really whipped properly. And you'll be able to tell because you can see here a little better. You end up with some really nice, even whipped butter look. Right in there. It's going to whip it a little bit longer. And this would be the time that if you were going to be adding vanilla extract or if you were going to be adding food coloring or anything like that in, this is when you would be doing it in this step at the very tail end of whipping your butter. And I'm just gonna let that finish whipping while I move on here to sifting the flour. It may not seem like much, but not sifting flour can be a real fatal flaw when you go to make cookies. It becomes really important when working with fine sugars, cornstarches. You don't want them to clump, and you don't want to end up with any sort of mystery lumps in your cookies. That is also not fun. So now that they're sifted together, we can go ahead and slowly but surely add some flour into the mix. Put your mixer on low, and about 1/4 of a scoop at a time, just mix it all the way in. Let it do its thing in between. And you can see it's starting to get kind of pilly. You can see that it's starting to clump together in different ways, which is a really great sign. We want to make sure that it's the perfect texture so that we can roll it out and that it'll hold its shape. I actually think shortbread cookies are the best cookies for shaped cookie cutting. There is definitely controversy in that statement between the sugar cookie crowd and the shortbread crowd. But unlike sugar cookies, you don't need to refrigerate your cookies in between batches. It comes together quickly, all at once. Just gonna go putting together nicely. And if it looks a little dry, you can add just a little touch of water to help it come together. Perfect. You can see how it's starting to form thicker and thicker clumps. That's exactly what we want from it. Beautiful. I'm going to hold that up nice and close so you can see. And now, I'm going to make some space here. I have my cookie board, my baking sheet already set up. This is a silicone mat, perfect for baking right on top of the dough that we just mixed. And I'm going to turn it out. Whoops. And I'm going to bring it together in a ball. You know that it's been mixed right when it all holds together in a ball just like this. And I'm going to cut it right on this mat. But first, I'm going to cover it with another sheet of parchment paper so that I can roll it and not have it stick to my roller. I'm going to press it out to the right sort of even distributed shape. It looks like this under the paper. And then I'm going to roll it to my desired thickness. So in the background, I already have my oven set to the temperature that I want, which is 325 degrees to bake these cookies. That means we can pop them right in the oven when it's time to get going. I like to neaten up my edges a little bit and make sure that the edges of my cookies and my dough are the same thickness as the center, which means that I can really push all of my cookie cutting right to the very edge and get consistent results. It also means that if I have a little piece like this that's hanging off the edge, I can cut it and move it very seamlessly with no problem and integrate it back into my dough. I think we're ready to get cutting. Cutters like this, where they maximize the shape, means that you're going to get 2 cookies out of this from one cut. That's really great space saving and time saving. So I'm going to start with a heart. I absolutely would not, for anything in this world, give up my perfect red little bow. So I'm going to put my red bow right here. And what do you say? How about a winter mitten? What I'm doing here is I'm planning out the most economical use of space so that I'm going to be able to fit as many cookies as possible without having to re-roll. When you have all these little extra bits in between, you take them at the end and roll them into a ball again and roll them out again. But each time you do that, you tend to weaken the dough a little bit. So it's best to see how many you can get in the first pass. This star, little Rudolph. Snowflake. Saving your little guys, like this little snowman, for the end is also great because you can fill these guys in anywhere you've got leftover real estate and just keep plucking away any opportunities to. If you like pickles, this is great for you. So take out some of these guys. Look how beautiful that is. Perfect heart and heart. Ribbon. Mitten. Tree. Star. The crinkly ones like this, you always have to coax it out of the cutter when you're done. It's a labor of love, which is why I always keep a pair of tweezers and a chopstick on hand so I can help encourage the cookie to release. Little Rudolph action. Snowflake. And for these big ones that stayed in place, you're just going to pull the dough out around it. Leave it in place till the end. Gather all this extra dough onto the side. Resist the urge to eat it until you know you can't use it. The great part about vegan baking, you can eat that raw dough to your heart's content if you should so please. Safe, happy, yummy, delicious raw cookie dough. Yum, yum. World. It's really a lot of fun. I love this cookie recipe because look at this perfect, strong shapes, bold edges. You don't have to worry of them spreading in the oven. They're just absolutely delicious. I've made, I don't even know how many I've made so far this year. I make them every year, give away to friends to neighbors, mailed some to family. And here we go with the re-roll. Any rests for what shape we should make this time? All right, ready to go with our next shapes. Because for me, Halloween is definitely every day. And around this guy, we can do another snowman. How about a little snowflake? Just like so. And you can roll this again and again until you've got all the shapes that you want. But I think this is a great amount.
And while you're doing that, I want to mention your incredible new cookbook, Plant-Based Gourmet. It's a perfect holiday gift. The recipes are extraordinary. There you go, Plant-Based Gourmet.
So the cookies really take about 13 minutes in the oven. But I check on them after 10 minutes just to make sure that they're not getting overcooked, because nobody likes a hard cracker when what you want is a cookie. So up next, it's time to, and I want to go over with you some fun ways to decorate these cookies. We started off with me showing you my pre-decorated batch. The bow, the Christmas tree, the star, little snowman with his happy little face. But I want to talk to you about a really fun idea, especially since it's lunchtime live, for these Linzer peanut butter and jelly cookie sandwiches. I've got another set right here. Using a circle cutter and a Linzer style cutter that has a gap missing from it in a different shape, you can cut anything out of the center of it, like a star, a heart, a diamond, you name it. You've got a 2-layered cookie right here. And we're going to fill it with a peanut butter and jelly blend so that it's kind of like lunch, right, guys? It's kind of lunch. It works, even though it's cookies. Here we go. So, cookies, peanut butter. This is an amazing all-natural peanut butter made locally in town by Teddy. And here is a strawberry preserve jam. You can find the recipe for this right in my book, actually, if you want to make your own jam at home. Could not be simpler and easier. So what we've got in this cookie is a mixture of peanut butter and jelly with a dollop of the jelly on top, so that the jelly is what oozes out the star. And it creates a beautiful color contrast. So I'm going to take you through that method right now. Grab myself a spoon. Little spoonful of peanut butter. And a spoonful of jelly. It's kind of like making icing or frosting, but it's peanut butter and jelly. So again, this is the ultimate way to pretend that eating cookies is having a proper meal. It's vegan, it works. You can make it more peanut butter, less peanut butter, but the more jam you add, the thinner it's going to be. Still make sure that it holds its shape vertically like this in the bowl. That lets you know that it's stiff enough to work as your cookie sandwich. So you're going to take this mixture and you're going to spread the mixture evenly on it like you were frosting a cake. A nice, generous, just like that. And now, the pièce de résistance, a little dollop of jelly right here in the center, generously. Take your cookie, your top cookie that has the cutout in it, and just squirt. And that jelly is going to ooze out. It's so yummy, delicious, sumptuous, delicious cookie sandwich. And that little window surprise with the jelly is the most mouth-watering part of it all. See that oozy jelly? Nothing makes me want to eat it more than that oozy, drippy, delicious strawberry preserve. I'm going to wipe up my hands here and move on to the next fun thing. So that was cookie sandwiches. Now we're going to do a fun classic cookie glaze. So I did a little pre-icing. So I have my frosting bag here with a baker's tip. But if you don't have cookie decorating supplies, you can use any zip top bag and load it right in here and cut the edge off. And that's what I'm going to do with you today so that everybody watching can follow along with me. Into a nice dry bowl, drying it out now. You're going to add very well sifted powdered sugar. You want to make enough to cover all of your cookies. It does a lot at first, but if you're doing flood icing like this, you end up using a lot of icing very quickly. If you're using drilling to make your garland on Christmas tree, you don't need quite so much. There's a little bit of maple syrup, some warm water, as well as some vanilla extract. You can use any extract of your choosing, of course. Almond being one of my favorites. Lemon is also a really delightful one, really perks up the cookie. And you're just going to go ahead and pour it right in. And you're going to watch this unbelievably shocking, magical transformation as this goes from a lumpy nightmare into a nice, smooth, beautiful, creamy glaze. If for some reason it ends up too dry, just like before, we're going to add a little bit of water. This guy really needs to be stirred very well, but you can already see how vastly different it looks now. It's turning into cream right before your eyes. 100% vegan. Thinner icing is good if you're going to be doing more flood design, like this, like my mitten. However, if you are going for real strong detailing, writing people's names, you want to keep it stiffer. So this is very thin for writing names, but really great for doing these flooding designs, which I really like doing. It's a lot of fun. So that I would very thin texture. And just like with anything else, if you want to thicken it up, you can just add a little bit of the icing sugar back in and stir it up. And have fun with it. You got a lot of control. This is the point in time where you'd be adding food coloring if you were going for colored icing. Usually just 1 or 2 drops will do. And if you want to skip the decorating step like this, you can, of course, do the dip method, where you dip the cookie in and let it drip off. And you've got a pretty well decorated dip there. And to my side, I've got really fun little fix-ins. You can make this a nice home project with your family, with your friends. Sprinkle a little cherry green icing sugar. Set it to the side, and when you set it to the side, it will harden. So now when I touch my mitten that I did a bit earlier, it's completely set. Really great for putting in cookie tins. Now let's check on our cookies in the oven. They need just a little bit more time, back up to the 3 more minutes. So they may not be done in time for when I say goodbye today. However, I would like to show you an easy glaze technique. So into the bag, we're going to pour this glaze. It's very thin, so you're going to want to make sure that you maintain good control. Zipping it up. And cut just the eensy teensy weensiest part of the top of the bag. Before you go on to your cookies, practice on something else, like a sheet of parchment paper, until you get the hang of the speed, or you're going to have a sad prize. So let's take a nice bold Christmas tree in here. Let's see if we can make a garland. How's that look?
Oh, wow. Gorgeous. You are an artist.
And to top it off, thank you. To top it off, we're going to take colorful sprinkles, and they're going to be our tree ornaments. And you can do this delicately with your fingers or with tweezers, or just say, hey, it'll only stick where the icing is. I'm in a hurry. I just want to eat these guys, share them with my friends and family. Go for broke, spread them out, shake off the excess, and voila.
Truly, you are amazing. Your artistry, it's like watching a painter or a sculptor. You are unbelievable. Before we go, I want to talk about your amazing new book, and we would like to encourage everybody to get this. It's the perfect holiday gift. It is doing very well. It just recently came out, Plant-Based Gourmet. Tell us about this book. Yes.
So I am so excited that this book is finally out there and that the cookies are done. So this book is the painstaking effort of several years, and it really came from a strong desire to share my love of food with everybody. And I know that cooking isn't always accessible to people, and vegan restaurants aren't always accessible to people, especially if you live in places that aren't LA or New York or where I live in Boston. So being able to get delicious gourmet vegan food can be as easy as your own kitchen with this book. And I really hope that people share that with everybody. It's for everyone in the family, everyone you know, whether it's a gourmet book, and there are some difficult and advanced things in there. There are definitely beginner recipes, places to start and to build up your skill.
Well, we've seen your skills. They're absolutely extraordinary. And let's see. Hold on. Oh boy. Let's see. Raise them up just a little bit higher. Whoa. Those are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. I want to thank you. Wait, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Woo! Ah. You are extraordinary. You are truly an artist in the kitchen. You took a lump of clay and you turned it into literally cookies that are almost too pretty. Operative word, almost too pretty to eat. You are a whiz in the kitchen, and I can't wait to check out your book, Plant-Based Gourmet, because just look at the cover. Look at the extraordinary dishes that are inside this book. I want to thank you, Chef Suzi. You are extraordinary.
Thank you. You're kind.
You know, I'm not kind. I'm factual. What I was mesmerized watching you. I was mesmerized watching you put together these cookies. It's an art form and it's fun. And I urge everybody watching to try it and get Chef Suzi's new book. The link to the book, which can be delivered immediately if you need a last-minute holiday gift, is in the intro. Plant-Based Gourmet, vegan cuisine for the home chef. And you had the great honor and privilege of watching this whiz in the kitchen just create things out of thin air. Just magical. Have a wonderful holiday. Have a great new year. And thank you for all you do. Chef Suzi in the house here on Lunch Break Live.
Happy holidays.